Hey everyone! Hello everyone! It's that time of the night. We're gonna wind down, invite some friends over, play a game. I'm a little bit, after last episode, still a little bit turned, but we're gonna invite our friends, Adrian and Oliver.
Ollivander. Welcome.
We forced them to join us tonight.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi. Do you want to say it into my chest? No.
Hey. Things are going well.
They're not mic'd up.
Hey everyone. Hey YouTube. What's up?
Smash that like button. And hit the notification bell so you don't miss any time we post a new video.
She's got it down pat. We're gonna play Go Fish, which Cat has actually never played before.
Any of my Chinese folks out there, all I've ever played on cards is Do Di Ju, and that's the shit, and that's all I want to say.
Period.
All these Caucasians would have no idea what I'm talking about.
It's
Way too complicated. It's way too complicated to explain.
Go Fish is probably the easiest game that we could teach you. I gave her a rough thing, but we're gonna give you a little rough explanation again.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do we need to get the joke? Yeah.
Jeez.
No joke.
Hopeless.
How many jokers are there?
What?
Cat's not a fan of boba.
Calmell's like that mom friend that will let you spit your gum into her mouth. I mean, not her mouth. Honestly, that too, but like.
She's that friend you can just spit in her mouth.
Thanks, Mom.
You know what I mean.
Yeah, anytime you're like, I need to spit my gum out, I'm like, well, find a bin then.
But then I'm like, Cat, I need a piss. She's like. So when you look at your 7 cards, if you find a double, put it aside. Everyone's gonna go around clockwise, asking if they have a number that is in their 7. And then, say for example, I'm like, do you have a 3?
Go fish.
If he says go fish, it means he doesn't have one, so then I pick up a card, and then if he has it, then I get it, and I've got a double. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And at the end, when all the cards are gone, whoever has the most doubles wins.
And this episode, we're gonna be talking about Dramatic, which is actually, so far, our most popular song.
You guys really love that song. It's one of our faves.
Whoa.
That's huge.
That's it.
Also, don't let anyone see your cards.
Okay. Cat, do you have a 5?
Son of a bitch. Calmell, do you have a 9?
Go fish.
Mother trucker.
Ash. Adrian. Do you have a 7?
Go fish.
Oh, bloody hell.
Kevin.
What number is that?
That's a J.
That is, how is that a J?
Oh, that way.
What is that? You're just like, hey, do you have a... Do you happen to throw some gang signs? Do you have a West Side?
I don't affiliate.
Anyways, we wrote this song with Andy, aka Husky, who, honestly, the backbone of this group.
Seamless.
Yeah, you're
Absolutely seamless.
And
I'm not doing well.
can I just say that I'm absolutely thriving?
You are doing really well.
So we wrote this song about, and I think everyone knows this because we've talked about this, but we actually wrote this song about climate change. I think climate change is something that is very near and dear to our hearts. Greta Thunberg was like heavily in the news, and all of the like school like strike for climate change and all that sort of stuff was happening, and it was just heavily in the media at that time. And I think a lot of people, especially in our generation, have a lot of climate anxiety just about, you know, the future of the world, because it seems like things are gonna hit the fan at any minute. And it's like the amount of years and time that we have before it's like irreversible damage has been done to the earth is like getting, it's getting really cut shorter and shorter, and it just doesn't feel like any not actionable, but like any substantial change is actually happening globally to actually stop us from hurling towards our ultimate demise. So just super fun. Everyone's looking at me like,
That's pretty dramatic. Makes sense.
Right.
so it's just
That's true, that's
something that we are really still are really stressed about and were really stressed about when we wrote this song. And Andy as well is super heavily suffers from climate anxiety, but also like one of the first things we bonded over when we met each other was that we were both vegetarian, because the animal agriculture industry is just really one of the leading causes of climate change, at least like the pollution
It's
aspect
also the
of
biggest
it.
thing you can do as an individual.
Yeah, I think it's the most impactful thing you can do in terms of like lessening your carbon footprint and that sort of stuff. So what I'm saying is I'm better than everyone.
Morally, socially,
Spiritually,
spiritually as well, yeah.
stylistically.
I'm actually kind of crazy.
I'm noticing religious themes in our music. The first line is blind like a religion, which is
That's
heavy.
not pretty.
Period. My friends back home will not be happy.
It was like it's getting a bit warm. But it's like, all right, well.
Guys, the ice caps are melting. We didn't want the song to be super literal in that sense, but still convey what we're talking about.
Like a religion, I know what you're confessing. I'm lacking and confided in, the big boys never listen.
So, this is no tea, no shade towards religion. No tea, no shade, with peace and love. I think that line was just kind of referencing how sometimes people can really be blinded or like just use their religion as a reason to be super hateful or super bigoted or just like treat people badly. And I think like, obviously religious freedom, everyone can believe in what they believe in. I think that was just something that, yeah, made sense to me at the time when I wrote it. The big dogs, they never listen to us.
Oh, we're pointing to God.
We're like G-O-D.
Just the landlord.
Let's be honest.
Companies.
Never listen.
The corporations.
The corporations,
The 0.1%.
the billionaires.
The 1%, the 0.1%.
Yeah.
They do not care about us.
And also
That's
like governments, like there's marches and stuff all the time, and it just seems like nothing changes.
Yeah, no one cares about what we have to say. I think what I was really feeling the desperation of just like, a lot of the big corporations know exactly what they're doing. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
They know exactly what they're doing. They know the damage that they're doing to the planet and just how much they're jeopardizing the future of future generations. And they don't care. And I think that's what I was just basically saying, that I'm lacking in confidence, because the people that need to hear it and the people that need to make the changes, the people who are in charge and who are in those powerful positions aren't going to do the things that are necessary to, you know, ensure that we have a future. And so, yeah. Playing on religious themes.
Yeah.
Do you have a 10?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was like, I thought he was just like, all going, yeah, like 100%. He's
No,
like,
100%.
she's so right, but I also do have 10.
No, sorry guys.
You tell me that you love me, then you go ahead and you choke me up. And I think a lot of people, when they first hear the song, take it as a love song. Because you can take it that way as well. And we didn't want it to be super on the nose. But yeah, I think corporations always kind of send the message in their advertising and in everything that they do, that they really care about their customers and they're appealing to the customers and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, if you really cared about us, you would stop. If you really cared about us, you would do things that don't destroy the planet on which we live on. Go figure.
Yeah, go fish.
Go
Fish.
fish.
So yeah, it's basically like the hand that feeds you is also at the same time poisoning you, and we're all slowly dying.
Wow. Sorry.
Yeah. Do you have Jack?
Do I have Jick? No, I don't. Sorry.
Holy frick, I'm losing.
You have so many cards. And then the chorus comes in.
If you cover my mouth with
Oh, yeah.
your hands, try to silence me, I'll scream out as loud as I can. Shouldn't bite the hand that feeds me, but you're not the man. And when I sing it to you, we'll see who's dramatic.
Mate, how's that not going to get a million plays? Wow.
Wow. Stop it.
When that chorus hits, it's so good.
Were you guys aware that you were making such a banger to such a depressing topic?
Yes.
Like it was kind of like, yeah.
I think that was our whole thing though. Like even with Get Old and with other songs.
You know what's dramatic? I didn't even like the song to begin with.
Okay, it's true.
No, Tear.
Yeah, that's
more
true.
just because like it's such a confronting subject that like until I met Cat, I guess I was kind of oblivious to the whole thing, and I guess like writing about it, singing about it, performing about it was really like overwhelming. So I guess I was scared to release it because I didn't fully understand it, and that's why like I love having these conversations with Kat, because she's constantly like, I guess, teaching me about these things or like sharing her knowledge, and I don't want to
spread incorrect information, or I don't want to just like say something just to say something. I want to fully understand it and get a better grasp on it, which is like why it's just sometimes tricky to talk about it.
But I guess, like I think it's cool though, like not everyone doesn't know everything, do you know what I mean? So like you guys are just opening up the dialogue.
Yeah.
I think it's cool you're saying that, like I don't know everything about it, but I know it's like an issue. You know what I mean? And so I think
all I know is like how it makes me feel and how I'm so stressed and worried about my future and like worrying for my family and worrying about my like future kids or whatever. All I know is like how it makes me feel and how it's affecting the planet. But I guess writing the song and performing it and talking to other people about it's opened such a conversation that I never thought I'd be having or I've been too scared to have. So. Yeah,
no, I think it's cool.
Wow. Period.
Yeah, thanks for taking the lead.
Awesome.
Sick.
I feel like this chorus is pretty self-explanatory. I think I do remember just sitting there and trying to write that chorus because there's a lot of things I want to say. Obviously, like the themes of sticking it to the man and you get told not to bite the hand that feeds you and all these different like idioms you get told, and we're trying to incorporate them in a way into the chorus that was like not clever but just not like
It's like, it's back chatty. It's like, it's got a bit of attitude to it. Yeah. It's not like used classically. It's like...
Yeah, we didn't want to just like straight up use it the way that it was. We wanted to like incorporate it in our own way. It took a while. I think me and Andy and Kamo just sitting there like... And at this point in the night, we were just like on the floor. Like I wasn't even sitting on the couch. I was like slumped up against the wall on the carpet, just like, shouldn't bite the hand that... The man shouldn't stick it to the
Shouldn't stick it to the man. Definitely shouldn't. Bite the hand.
Don't cover my mouth with your hands. If you try to silence me, I'll scream it as loud as I can. And I think that is just like a representation of... Are you counting the syllables?
Yes. Sorry, that was nerdy. Yeah.
Please,
I was
go ahead.
like, yeah, that's good. That's good.
I think it was reflective at the time of like all the kids who were skipping school and going on climate strikes, and it's just like they get silenced, they get told by their schools. I remember, because I had already graduated at this point, but I remember like people from my school being told that like, oh, if you didn't show up to school that you were gonna get in trouble, or just like that sort of thing where it's like, it's just like the more that you try to suppress the younger generation's voices and, you know, people who are trying to stand up for what they believe in, like the louder we're gonna clap back. Period.
Yeah.
I think that's the
Especially
idea.
the generation that's most likely going to be the cleanup crew
Yeah.
as well.
We don't really have a choice but to be stressed about these issues
Yeah.
because it's so pressing.
Yeah.
And it's like the people who are in charge are of the older generation, and it's like they could be dead before any of the things really start going south. But there's a big chance that we'll be alive for the times that like climate change really starts to like take like real actual effect. Like we already see it taking effect. Like Australia had such intense bushfires at the beginning of last year, and it was like apocalyptic looking. It was really scary, and it was just like things are happening, and we don't have the luxury of ignoring the issue, as I think like a lot of older people tend to do. And I think it's also like a big part of it is that it's such a confronting thing, like Kamo was saying, to think about. It's so terrifying to think about the fact that like the planet that we're living on is seriously in danger, and it's a lot easier to be in denial and a lot easier to kind of ignore the issue and just be like, oh.
Yeah, but that's like what the attitude felt like as well. Like, don't like not go to school or don't protest or whatever. It's like, what? There's no alternative you're offering. Like, what about saying like, okay, at school today we're just going to concentrate on like what we can do to be sustainable. That seems like something like coming down to the level, but instead they're just like what you're saying in the song, like, no, we don't want to hear
no
about
one's
it.
really,
it's like, well,
no one's meeting us halfway,
facts.
and it's scary. But
Do you have an ace?
Guys, I'm losing so hard.
do you have a 4?
See?
It
works out. It works out.
Do you have a queen? Motherfucker. Yes, I knew it. I
Mother
felt
flipper.
it.
Do you have a king?
Motherfucking! Oh, this is a piece of cake.
Do you have a jack?
I don't have a jack.
See, now I'm screwed.
Do you have 2? Do you have a number 2?
No, sorry. No fish. Where are you gonna fish from?
I can't, that's the thing.
He can't
That's exactly. That goes back to the song.
Yeah, overfishing.
Overfishing is actually a serious
This is
issue.
actually a
This is a
metaphor for the fishing.
The oceans?
See, there's only so long you can go fish for until eventually.
This
There's
is
no
capitalism.
There's no
That's
fish.
capitalism.
This is what you want. This is what you want. What's happening?
Is this what you... Our oceans
Hate
are
to be
dying.
dramatic, but...
Oh, snap.
Snap.
The oceans are dying. I shouldn't bite the hand that feeds me, but simultaneously the hand that feeds me is also choking me to death, so I kind of have to do something at this point, right? And we're saying, but you're not the man, and when I stick it to you, we'll see who's dramatic. Greta Thunberg was in the news a lot of people were saying, like, you're a child, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, go back to school, go, like, focus on the things that people your age should be focusing on, and that we're being overdramatic and everyone just needs to calm down. And it's like, how can you actually say that with everything that's happening?
Yeah.
Sure.
And that's the attitude that got us here as well. So like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, you don't
just indifference, and now they're trying to like shove it down our
Why don't we
throat.
just try doing the exact same thing we've been doing for ages again?
Be more ignorant.
I don't know why they're like not encouraging younger people to be more passionate about it though.
Yeah.
That's what I don't understand.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I think it's that thing you were talking about, how like they're not even going to be here like for the end of the world. Like they just don't care.
Okay, so my verse. You say that I'm safe while you're looking for someone to blame. Who are you really trying to save? I think you're a bit too late. I think that sort of plays on what Kat was saying before as well. I guess this persona is just trying to make you believe that they're trying to do the best for you, but they're just kind of like stabbing you in the back.
Yeah. And I think a lot of companies now are also like, what's the term, like greenwashing? And also like woke washing. Like they will market their products as organic or, you know, eco-friendly or whatever. And if you actually look into it, it's not that organic or eco-friendly. A lot of brands will try to appeal to a certain demographic, and they know that like we care about, you know, pressing societal issues, including climate change, like equality and all that sort of stuff. And they'll market their products like in that kind of way, but it's only for like monetary gain. Yeah. It's only so they sell better and only so their brand image is better, and not because they're actually doing not because they're doing actionable things that actually benefit.
Yeah, well, like you look into some of these companies and they've got the green products, and then their best sellers are all these disgusting products anyway. Yeah. So they're not even losing.
And I think it's also like so many people, especially this year, have made fun of like brands changing all their like logos to like pride flags for Pride Month, but they're not actually doing anything that you know helps people. I think it's just like they tell us we're being dramatic, and they say that like it's not that big a deal, blah blah blah, and it's like, you're telling me that you're safe, but while they all are trying to cover their asses because they know that like shit's about to hit the fan. And you know, who are you really trying to save? Who are you trying to save? They're trying to save their own asses. Period. They're trying to save their assets.
Oh, there it is.
That was so stupid.
Oh, okay, nice.
Oh, so she's clever.
The brain.
It's all coming down, about to hit the ground, but you won't be round. Just say it now. It's all coming down, about to hit the ground, but you won't be round
to see you now.
So I guess the bridge is kind of like in that, I don't know what the word is, but like that moment where shit is actually like starting to go down and we're starting to see like noticeable changes in the earth and stuff. We're saying it's all coming down, about to hit the ground, but you won't be around to see it now. It's like what Kat was saying about these kind of people who aren't really helping this issue, is like they're not going to be here when everything hits a fan. And I guess that's why like the younger generation is just a little bit stressed out.
Yeah. It's like you're in a comfortable position where you can afford to call this dramatic because you're not going to actually be here when it all hits the ground.
About to hit the ground.
About to hit the ground. So you won't be around to see it now.
It's all just it's just kind of like comedic almost, that we're going to be left to like clean up the mess. And especially like when you actually start seeing the numbers and the statistics of like when we're going to like lose the ocean, when we're going to like lose, I don't know, fish, or like it just seems like just so overwhelming and scary, because like I don't know, I'm just grateful that there are like smart, intelligent kids that are like actually doing something like Greta Thunberg. Like that was, I don't know, when I was her age I just couldn't even think for myself.
And I think especially like I remember in school people like you get taught about recycling and like the environmental impacts, and they're like, switch the light off when you go to a room, and like try to like lessen, like use public transport more. And I think like while that's great, it's putting a lot of the onus on fixing the environment on the individual, when we could do all of those things and it still wouldn't be nearly as impactful if people in the big corporations, if the animal agriculture industry and all those sort of things like actually took into account the amount of damage that they're doing and changed like the ways that they did things. Yeah. Obviously, we can all do things to like make the world a better place, but realistically, there's only so much we can do as individuals to change it. Not that we shouldn't do things, but it's like it's kind of unfair to put all of the burden of like fixing the planet and the environment on the individual to be like, don't use so much water, take shorter showers and all that sort of stuff. And it's like that's like compared like the effect that would have compared to if we all just like, you know, if like people stop like cut down half of their meat consumption a week or something. Like it's like the difference is astronomical.
Yeah. Really, seriously, yeah.
Anyway, so that's super fun. Thank you for joining us for
that was a fun little upbeat game.
Thanks for having us, I guess.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah, we learned so much.
I think what we should just take from this is like, okay, well for me, I think writing the song with like Cat and Andy has like helped me get a better understanding and grasp of like what's actually happening and forced me to like face these issues head on when I was always kind of just like, no, like, I don't know, not ignorant, but I guess ignorance like a better word for it, just because I didn't want to see my world like that. I've like built like such a fantasy world of like everything is good and people are good and like it's exactly what we were saying, like these people are trying to tell us that they're like trying to help us, and that's what I like would believe for so long. And I didn't want to think that like my world was just like a lie, but it is. Like it sucks, but it is. So I guess like this song was just a way for me to
explore that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I still am, and like I don't know, I think
we all are.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the thing we need to do is just, I don't know, do our own part and not put too much pressure on us, but just like what you said, like talk about
pressure on the people in power.
Yeah. Or just start the conversation. Like, you write the song, it's like open it up.
That's the thing about the song. It gets people actually confronting the issue at least.
I'm sure many people are playing Go Fish right now. Dramatic. And then the environmental
I hope
impact.
every time someone plays Go Fish, they're thinking about overfishing.
Yeah.
Until the end of time.
Honestly, guys.
Just think about it.
Just think about it.
But in saying that, we really hope you like the song. This is one of our favorite songs, and we're so glad that it's reached so many of you and that like you guys are feeling it.
Thank you so much for joining us on this episode, our second last episode.
Oh my god, it's our last episode next week. My chin won't stop bleeding.
Hopefully it stops by next week.
Next week's gonna be at the doctor's. Okay, guys. So.
Getting a chin arrested.
That's St. George Hospital. And,